In an era marked by unprecedented advancements in space exploration, recent developments involving NASA have stirred significant concern among the scientific community and policy advocates. As the agency celebrates its latest astronomy picture of the day featuring the Crab Nebula, a supernova remnant heralded for its extraordinary expansion, the backdrop of budgetary constraints and shifting political priorities casts a shadow over its ambitious programs. On May 8, 2025, NASA unveiled an awe-inspiring image of the Crab Nebula catalogued as M1, showcasing its dynamic filaments captured through the lenses of the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope. The Crab Nebula, located approximately 6,500 light-years away in the constellation Taurus, serves as a poignant reminder of the universe's mysteries, having formed from the remnants of a massive star explosion as observed by astronomers in 1054. This beautiful cosmic display emphasizes the importance of continued investment in astronomical research, a sentiment echoed by many in the scientific community. However, as NASA promotes its scientific achievements, it simultaneously grapples with severe budgetary challenges. In a shocking proposal announced by the White House's Office of Management and Budget, the administration seeks to slash NASA's overall funding by 25%, with a staggering nearly 50% cut to its science budget. This drastic move includes the potential cancellation of the Mars Sample Return (MSR) mission, a program that has consumed billions in investment and years of meticulous planning. The MSR mission, a collaboration between NASA and the European Space Agency, aims to bring Martian samples back to Earth for detailed analysis, potentially providing the first compelling evidence of extraterrestrial life. As NASA's Perseverance rover continues its pioneering work on the Martian surface, scientists fear that abrupt budget cuts could jeopardize this landmark initiative. To cancel the MSR project would be to cancel decades of planning and investment in U.S. planetary science, warned Victoria Hamilton, chair of the Mars Exploration Program Analysis Group (MAPAG). It risks diminishing America's leadership in space at a time when global competition is heating up. The ramifications of abandoning the MSR project could extend beyond national pride and scientific inquiry. With nations like China preparing their own Mars sampling missions, experts warn that the U.S. risks ceding its leadership role in space exploration. We must pursue the goals outlined in our decadal surveys to ensure we maintain our status as a leader in space, Hamilton stressed, highlighting the urgency of congressional action to oppose the proposed budget cuts. Adding to the uncertainty surrounding NASA's programs, the agency has recently decided to withdraw plans for a commercial partnership to launch its Volatiles investigating polar exploration rover Viper mission, which aims to search for water ice on the Moon. The cancellation of the solicitation for commercial proposals underscores the challenges NASA faces in securing private sector collaboration under the existing budget constraints. We are exploring alternative partnerships that could generate stronger proposals, noted Joel Kearns, Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration in NASA's Science Mission Directorate. However, no specific details on these new approaches have been provided, leaving the future of the Viper mission in limbo. Critics, including members of Congress, have expressed dissatisfaction with the handling of the Viper project, which was initially cancelled due to cost overruns. Despite being nearly complete, the ongoing turmoil surrounding these missions raises critical questions about the future of U.S. space exploration. The proposed cuts are so severe that we cannot afford to wait for the usual appropriations process, commented Amanda Hendricks, director of the Planetary Science Institute. As the cosmic imagery of the Crab Nebula captivates audiences, the fate of crucial missions like MSR and Viper hangs in the balance. The coming months will be pivotal as Congress deliberates on budget appropriations and the agency navigates a complex landscape of political priorities and scientific aspirations. With international partners like the European Space Agency looking to establish new collaborations, the U.S. must act decisively to ensure it does not lose its foothold in the arena of space exploration. The future of NASA's ambitious endeavors may well depend on the decisions made today. As the quest for knowledge and discovery continues against a backdrop of uncertainty. On May 8, 2025, the International Space Station ISS became a hub of significant biotech and health research as the Expedition 73 crew dedicated their workday to advancing our understanding of human physiology and microgravity. This focus is particularly crucial as humanity prepares for future missions to the Moon and beyond. Highlighting the day's activities, NASA flight engineer Ian McLean took the lead in the ongoing CIPHER investigation, which explores how various systems within the human body, such as the cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, and ocular systems, adapt to the unique challenges posed by extended spaceflight. The human body's response to microgravity is a critical area of research that will inform our future missions, McLean noted as she collected biological samples for analysis. This week-long endeavor was complemented by cognitive assessments, including a vestibular exam led by fellow crew member NASA flight engineer Johnny Kim, further emphasizing the comprehensive approach to astronaut health. Meanwhile, Kim and NASA flight engineer Nicole Ayers engaged in biotechnology work using the Life Sciences glove box. Their experiments aim to manufacture nanomaterials that mimic DNA, with 3 different products slated for return to Earth for further study. As current station commander Takuya Onishi of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA continued this work, the team effectively demonstrated the collaborative spirit essential for success in space. Ayers, who had been wearing a biomonitor for an extensive 48-hour period to track the effects of microgravity on her cardiovascular system, concluded her data collection and joined her crewmates for emergency training. The importance of preparedness in the unpredictable environment of space cannot be overstated. Every day we have new challenges to face, and training helps us stay ready, Ayers remarked. The day also included maintenance tasks, with Roscosmos flight engineers Kirill Peskov and Sergei Rizikov carrying out orbital plumbing duties, and Rizikov and colleague Alexei Zabritsky completing a virtual reality test to monitor their eye and brain movements. Such diverse activities reflect the multifaceted nature of life aboard the ISS, where scientific discovery and operational tasks coexist. In a broader context, May 8 also marked National Astronaut Day, a day dedicated to honoring the contributions of astronauts to space exploration. The U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command took the opportunity to celebrate its active duty astronauts, including McLean, who emphasized the evolving landscape of space. The sheer number of people, corporations, and countries involved in spaceflight has grown exponentially in recent years, she stated, underscoring the security implications of this rapid expansion. McLean, who was selected as part of NASA's Artemis astronaut program, has always had a passion for space exploration. "I remember looking up at the stars and wanting to visit them," she shared, highlighting the drive that fuels many in the field. Colleagues like Andrew Drew Morgan and Frank Rubio echoed similar sentiments, each recounting their journeys from military service to becoming astronauts, demonstrating the unique blend of skills and perspectives they bring to NASA's missions. In a troubling turn, the European Space Agency (ESA) is now assessing the potential impact of proposed budget cuts to NASA, which could threaten joint missions including the Gateway Lunar Station and Mars Sample Return initiatives. ESA Director General Joseph Ashbacher stated NASA has briefed ESA about the budget request, and while some questions still remain, follow-up meetings are already taking place. The proposed cuts reflect a significant shift in U.S. space policy, with the potential to reshape international collaborations. As NASA navigates these budgetary challenges, the agency remains committed to its mission of exploration, forging ahead with innovative approaches to ensure that human spaceflight continues to thrive. The collaboration between astronauts, scientists, and engineers is more critical than ever as they collectively work towards understanding the complexities of space and the future of human exploration. The developments aboard the ISS and in broader space initiatives signal a pivotal moment in humanity's quest to expand its reach beyond Earth, with the promise of new discoveries on the horizon. On May 5, 2025, National Astronaut Day was celebrated, highlighting the contributions of astronauts to America's space exploration efforts. Among those honored was a team from the U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command who paid tribute to their active duty astronauts, Colonel and McLean, Colonel Andrew Drew Morgan, and Colonel Frank Rubio. This day marks the anniversary of Alan Shepard's historic flight, which made him the first American in space back in 1961. The observance of this day serves as a reminder of the evolving landscape of space exploration and the challenges that lie ahead. Colonel McLean, currently aboard the International Space Station ISS, emphasized the rapid changes in the space environment. The sheer number of people, corporations, and countries involved in spaceflight has grown exponentially in recent years, she stated. With that comes security concerns. Protecting our people and assets in space is a critical no-fail mission both today and in the future. McLean, selected as one of NASA's Artemis astronauts, has a notable background as an aviation officer and has spent significant time in space contributing to various scientific missions. Colonel Morgan, who has a background as an Army emergency physician, also shared insights into his journey, which culminated in a spaceflight lasting 272 days. Reflecting on his childhood fascination with space exploration, he said, "I like working in small teams of highly skilled operators that work together for a shared goal." Morgan currently commands the U.S. Army garrison Kwajalein Atoll, where he oversees operations that track objects in space, underscoring the military's role in space security. Colonel Rubio recently returned from a record-breaking 371-day mission, during which he broke the previous record for the longest spaceflight by an American astronaut. His reflections on the mission highlighted the critical role of Army astronauts in providing unique perspectives on living and working in space, which can inform future missions. "It's an incredible privilege and an honor to represent our nation as both an Army soldier and astronaut," he noted. As the discussion of space exploration continues, the contributions of these astronauts remind us of the importance of not only pioneering new frontiers but also ensuring the safety and sustainability of space activities. The future of space exploration is promising, with initiatives like NASA's Artemis program aiming to return humans to the Moon and eventually pursue Mars missions. In related developments, Elon Musk recently reaffirmed his commitment to establishing a human presence on Mars as a long-term strategy for ensuring the survival of humanity. Musk's vision suggests that preparing for multiplanetary habitation is essential given the eventual fate of Earth. "One of the benefits of Mars is life insurance for life collectively," he stated, emphasizing the need for a self-sustaining base on Mars as a hedge against existential threats. As space exploration evolves, the intersection of military and civilian efforts will likely play a critical role in shaping the future landscape of space. With growing interest from private enterprises and government entities alike, the coming years stand to be transformative for human spaceflight, scientific research, and international cooperation in the cosmos. As we celebrate the achievements of astronauts and explore future possibilities, the mission to understand and secure our place in the universe continues to inspire and challenge us all. In a groundbreaking day of research aboard the International Space Station ISS, NASA's Expedition 73 crew turned their focus to biotechnology and health studies, marking a significant step towards understanding human adaptation in space. As humanity gears up for missions to the Moon and beyond, the insights gained from these experiments will be crucial in ensuring the health and safety of astronauts during long-duration flights. On May 8, 2025, 5 crew members dedicated their efforts to various health-oriented studies, with a particular emphasis on the CIPHER investigation, short for the Complement of Integrated Protocols for Human Exploration Research. This ongoing project aims to assess how essential human systems, including cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, and ocular functions, respond to the microgravity environment of space. NASA flight engineer Anne McLean notably devoted a substantial portion of her week to CIPHER activities, collecting biological samples for subsequent analysis and participating in cognitive and vestibular assessments. Understanding how our bodies react to space is critical for future explorations, McLean stated, highlighting the mission's importance. Furthering the biotechnology focus, flight engineer Johnny Kim alongside Nicole Ayers worked in the life sciences glove box to explore in-space manufacturing techniques for nanomaterials that resemble DNA. The pair is set to produce 3 distinct products, which will be returned to Earth for further analysis. Current ISS Commander Takuya Onishi also engaged in this initiative, showcasing the collaborative nature of research aboard the station. Ayres, who had been monitoring her cardiovascular health using a biomonitor device for 48 hours, concluded her data collection before joining McLean and Kim for emergency procedure training. This comprehensive training is vital for ensuring crew readiness in the event of unforeseen circumstances aboard the ISS. Preparedness is key to our safety up here, Ayres emphasized after the session. Meanwhile, the crew continued their botanical research, cleaning the veggie facility following operations related to the Apex 12 experiment, which involved harvesting failed cress plants to study the effects of space radiation on plant genetics. This line of inquiry not only aids in understanding plant biology but also enhances the potential for sustainable life support systems in future lunar or Martian habitats. As the day drew to a close, Roscosmos flight engineer Kirill Peskov and his colleague Sergei Rizikov performed orbital maintenance tasks, while Rizikov and Alexei Zabritsky engaged in a virtual reality test designed to track their eye and brain movements, a novel approach to studying human performance in space. The multifaceted research efforts aboard the ISS underscore NASA's commitment to advancing our understanding of human and biological sciences in space, paving the way for future explorations. As the agency prepares for its ambitious Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the Moon and eventually send astronauts to Mars, the insights gained from these space-based experiments will be invaluable. Looking ahead, the ISS continues to serve as a vital platform for scientific advancement. With ongoing experiments and training, the crew's work not only contributes to immediate scientific goals but also lays the foundation for humanity's future in deep space exploration. As we stand on the brink of a new era in space travel, the data and experiences gained from the ISS will undoubtedly shape the next chapter of human exploration beyond our planet. In a shocking turn of events, the Trump administration has proposed significant budget cuts to NASA, threatening to dismantle decades of scientific progress and exploration. The proposed budget, which was unveiled on May 2, 2025, suggests slashing NASA's overall funding by 25% and nearly halving its science budget, with the Mars Sample Return (MSR) mission facing complete cancellation. This mission, a collaborative effort between NASA and the European Space Agency, has been a cornerstone of planetary science aimed at returning Martian soil and rock samples to Earth for analysis, potentially shedding light on the existence of life beyond our planet. NASA's Perseverance rover, which has been diligently collecting samples on Mars since its landing in February 2021, was designed specifically for this mission. The rover has gathered valuable geological specimens from Jezero crater and ancient lakebed that could hold evidence of past Martian life. The impending cuts have left scientists and experts outraged, as the MSR program was considered the highest priority in U.S. planetary science, according to recent decadal surveys, authoritative documents that guide future NASA activities. It's crucially important that NASA maintain U.S. leadership in deep space by pursuing the ambitious goals outlined in our decadal surveys, emphasizes Victoria Hamilton, chair of NASA's Mars Exploration Program Analysis Group. She warns that without the MSR, the U.S. risks falling behind other nations, particularly China, which has plans for its own Mars sample return mission by 2030. Despite budgetary concerns with MSR, the estimated cost has ballooned to approximately $11 billion, with delays pushing back the return timeline to 2040. NASA officials were optimistic just days before the budget announcement. Danya Douglas Bradshaw, director of the MSR program, had highlighted the mission's groundbreaking potential, being the first to return samples from another planet. However, the administration's justification for cancellation is that the goals of the MSR could be achieved by future crewed missions to Mars. Critics of this approach, including Scott Hubbard, former NASA Mars program director, have labeled the notion of astronauts retrieving samples as unrealistic. Let's get real. My reaction to the astronauts will do sample return is, when? It's nonsense on several levels, he states, pointing out that credible plans for a human mission to Mars are not expected before 2039 or 2040. Moreover, experts emphasize the scientific value of the meticulously curated samples MSR is set to bring back. Casey Dreyer, chief of space policy at the Planetary Society, argues that random samples collected by astronauts would lack the rigor and specificity necessary to answer critical questions about Mars' history and potential for life. That's the weakness in China's grab-and-go approach, he notes, contrasting it with the comprehensive strategy underlying the MSR. The proposed budget cuts do not only endanger the MSR, they also endanger various other scientific endeavors, including the Lunar Gateway project, which aims to establish a sustained human presence on the Moon. Amanda Hendricks, CEO of the Planetary Science Institute, describes the administration's actions as mystifying and infuriating, stressing that they could lead to the U.S. ceding leadership in space exploration. As the political landscape evolves, NASA's future direction remains uncertain. President Trump's nominee to lead NASA, Jared Isaacman, has yet to publicly address the MSR situation. With congressional confirmation pending, there are concerns about whether he holds enough political influence to counteract the proposed budget cuts. In the midst of this turmoil, the European Space Agency (ESA) is also facing challenges, particularly regarding its contributions to the MSR. ESA has invested heavily in the Earth Return Orbiter, a key component of the Mars Sample Return mission. Joseph Ashbacher, ESA's Director General, emphasized the importance of U.S.-European cooperation in space, hinting at potential repercussions for international partnerships if the MSR is abandoned. Meanwhile, NASA is reportedly exploring the possibility of using SpaceX's Starship for a potential Mars mission as early as 2026 as part of an effort to accelerate its timeline for crewed exploration. While this shift indicates a focus on human spaceflight, it raises questions about the feasibility and safety of such missions, particularly given that launching to Mars requires precise timing and extensive preparatory work. As the debate unfolds, the stakes for NASA and its ambitious goals in space exploration have never been higher. Whether the U.S. will maintain its leadership in space science or allow opportunities to slip away to other nations remains to be seen. The outcome of ongoing discussions and the forthcoming congressional budget process will be critical in determining the future trajectory of America's space exploration efforts. The world watches closely as the race to Mars intensifies, with significant implications for science, international relations, and humanity's quest to explore the cosmos. In an era marked by ambitious aspirations for space exploration, NASA's recent decisions concerning its lunar programs have cast a long shadow over the future of its missions, particularly regarding the Volatiles investigating polar explorer rover Viper. Originally designed to seek out water ice on the Moon's surface, Viper is now facing significant uncertainties following the agency's decision to cancel its planned private sector partnerships aimed at facilitating its journey to the lunar South Pole. This development raises critical questions about the future of lunar exploration and the broader objectives of NASA's Artemis program. NASA's Viper rover was initially slated to launch aboard Astrobotic's Griffin lander as part of the Commercial Lunar Payload Services (CLPS) initiative. The mission was to be pivotal in assessing the availability of water resources essential for sustaining human life on the Moon, especially as NASA aims to establish a permanent presence there as part of its broader Moon to Mars strategy. However, a series of budgetary constraints led to Viper's cancellation last summer, only to be resurrected briefly with an appeal for private partnerships. This week, NASA announced that it would no longer pursue such collaborations, leaving Viper's fate uncertain. In a statement, Nikki Fox, Associate Administrator for NASA's Science Mission Directorate, acknowledged the efforts of the private sector while expressing optimism about future volatile science with Viper. "We look forward to accomplishing future volatile science with Viper as we continue NASA's Moon to Mars exploration efforts," Fox said. This sentiment underscores the agency's continued commitment to lunar exploration even in the face of setbacks. The cancellation of Viper's partnership initiative comes on the heels of a proposed 24% budget cut from the Trump administration, which has added to the already tumultuous landscape for NASA's planned missions. The potential savings from Viper's cancellation, initially estimated at $84 million, highlight the financial pressures weighing on the agency, which must now reassess its goals and resources. The rover, fully assembled and ready for deployment, is currently without a means to reach the Moon, raising concerns over how NASA will advance its lunar exploration agenda in the coming years. As NASA grapples with these challenges, discussions are intensifying around the strategic necessity of establishing a robust lunar presence before embarking on missions to Mars. Experts argue that a Moon first then Mars approach is not only safer but also more methodical. The Moon offers a unique testing ground for technologies and strategies that will be vital for future Mars missions. Human missions to Mars present unprecedented challenges, including extended isolation, severe radiation exposure, and the need for self-sufficiency in life support systems, elements that can be better understood and mitigated through lunar exploration. In a recent opinion piece published in Space News, former NASA officials emphasized the importance of using the Moon as a proving ground. They cautioned against the allure of direct missions to Mars, arguing that significant risks remain unaddressed without prior lunar missions. They noted that past successes such as the Apollo program were built on a foundation of incremental achievements that gradually built confidence and capability. As NASA looks to the future, the agency must navigate the complexities of funding, partnerships, and mission planning. The Viper rover's predicament serves as a stark reminder of the challenges inherent in space exploration and the necessity of strategic foresight. The agency has indicated that a new strategy for Viper will be forthcoming, signaling that while current plans may be in disarray, the commitment to lunar exploration remains steadfast. Looking ahead, the interplay between lunar and Martian exploration will likely dictate the trajectory of NASA's missions, as discussions evolve around the need for a structured approach to human spaceflight. The lessons learned from the Moon may ultimately shape the success of future endeavors on Mars. With the stakes higher than ever, the path to interplanetary travel continues to require careful consideration and deliberate planning, ensuring that humanity's reach into the cosmos is both ambitious and achievable.